Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be stamping around the UK with my Stampin' Around the UK blog hop mates. So this is a video hop. You can go down to the description bar below and you can click to see what all of the other designers have done with this month's theme. This month's theme is Case the Designer, and I have cased Sam from Mixed Up Crafts because I love this card and I think it's brilliant. Now Sam at Mixed Up Crafts has a different, makeup to me, and she makes some really complicated but really beautiful things. Normally I make simple cards, so this for me is a huge breakout of the normal, and so I've got instructions. Now what I have done is when I did the instructions, I wrote them down as well as followed them, so that at the end you can take a print screen of my instructions and make the same card. Do it at the end because as we go through I do change a couple of the measurements. So one of the differences between Sam's at Mixed Up Crafts and my card is that Sam's was a different size. Hers was designed to be a 6x6 card, but I wanted mine to fit in a normal box size UK mailing envelope. So I've cut this so that the end finish will finish 10 centimetres by 14.8 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres. So it will fit into my normal envelopes. Okay, so what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using the DSP from the catalogue. I'm going to be using Crumb Cake cardstock, and I'm going to be using that gorgeous glimmer paper in the gold. And I'm going to be using the card base here, and I'm going to cut it down 5 3/4 inches by 8 inch, and then I'm going to score it at 1 inches all the way across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then when I come to fold this, I'm going to fan fold it like an accordion back and forward, and that's going to form my card base. Okay, I wanted this to be a masculine card. It's actually for my partner's 10-year-old son's birthday, so I wanted it to be quite boyish, and that's why I've used sort of the neutral colours rather than bright colours. I did want to put a whole load of flowers on this. So this bit here is my main card, and that was 8 inches by 3 inches, scored at 4 inches. And now I'm going to just be working on the mats and layers. So this is the bit that I do change a little bit later on. I'm going to be using this gorgeous glimmer paper. This is from the mini catalogue, and it comes in 3 different colours, and the gold one is just absolutely beautiful, really attractive. And the DSP is from the annual catalogue, and it's a 6x6, so I don't mind cutting it. I find it quite simple. 12 by 12 I always worry about cutting because I think it's too beautiful to cut. So I'm trimming all of these to the sizes that is on my list there, and I do come back a little bit later on and I do change the one layer. So the one that's third up that says layer 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, I do change to 2 inches by 3 inches, and I write it out and put it on there. So if you are going to print screen my instructions to follow, do them at the end of the video. So I'm bringing in the card base now. This is a 3 inch by the 8 inch one. And what I'm doing is I'm just folding it over, and then I'm measuring the middle way on the cards. That's at 1.5 inches, and I'm trimming off the 2 sides. Keep the trimming off. Keep all your scraps in this because you're going to be using them. I love a project that uses all the scraps. So I've got this like bunting card now, and then I'm going to be adding my layers on it. So as I said previously, this layer here in the DSP that's 2.5 by 3.5, I do eventually cut down. But the glimmer paper is the right size at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I'm just going to go towards the middle of the card, pop a dot in and make it into a triangle. And you can see I'm doing that with the DSP as well. Once you make it into your triangle, keep the cut-offs again. You're going to want all the scraps from this project totally. It would just sit on top of the card as a mat like that. And then I'm going to add the DSP. Now it's up to you here. You don't have to put 2 layers on. You can just put 1 layer on. I decided to put 2 because I thought the shimmer was just a lot, but by making it into a mat, it looks better. As you can see there, I've just changed the sizing on that. Cut it down, again into the long triangle, and you can see that it's all going to fit onto that bit. So this is kind of like your traditional card bit where you've actually got a fold over. It's not going to sit like that, obviously, because it comes down to a triangle point. So I'm just going to accordion and fan the bottom. You can see I'm going through and scoring all of that. And then once I've done that, you will eventually attach this to there, and that will be the foundation of your card. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a strip of DSP onto my accordion fan fold. Now I decided to add the glimmer because I just thought that was so glittery and beautiful. But one of the things with the glimmer is it is quite impressionable. So as I stuck this down, I wanted it to stick, so I thought I was being genius and used some pegs off my pegboard to peg the pages together, thinking that it'll allow the glue to dry, but it'll also keep the accordion fold quite crisp. It was a genius idea, only the paper's impressionable, and it did leave a mark or two at the end, which you'll see. So perhaps it wasn't genius, perhaps it was stupidity, but I quite thought it was a good idea at the time. So I'm just sticking these two pieces together now to actually create that fold. Glimmer underneath, DSP on top, and stick that down. Okay, then you want to bring in your offcuts. So you want your offcuts of both pieces, and you can see how I'm just layering those. They're going to sit out like that to create this gorgeous fan. And you've got the DSP that we cut before, that's the right size, and the paper that we cut before, that's the right size, so that it will make those flags. The only challenge is the other ones are facing the other way. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to cut yourself another strip. So you can see where I've put that mat that's 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. You want to cut this, but you want to make sure you're cutting it in the right direction to fit the paper. Okay, so have a look whether you need it left to right or right to left so that it fits the same bit. And again, I'm doing it with the DSP. Now you can see the DSP doesn't work totally right because I didn't check my lefts to right, my rights to lefts. And you can see there how I'm working that. What I decided to do in the end was not use the DSP bits. Okay. The lefts to rights are really important. And I know I made the mistake in the video, but hopefully you can see where I'm going. Because this isn't double-sided glimmer paper, and you need 2 that face one way and 2 that face the other way, you've just got to get it cut in the right direction. Okay, and I didn't use paper on the rest of them, so I will in a minute cross that final layer off so that you know that you only need it on 2, and then you can print screen my workings and my scribblings. It's not a usual Helen card, and I could have made it once and then had it all perfect for you, but I actually quite like working through the instructions as well, and I'd scribbled these down from Sam's video, and like I said, hers was 6 by 6, so I was having to change the measurements, and I did like maths at school, so I do quite enjoy flipping and changing other people's measurements. Steal their creativity and then put my own maths on it. There we go. So there's my 4 fanfold bits, and you can see I've crossed the bottom one off. So for this, what you want to do is you want to position this down the card. Now I did it at 1/2 inch each side, so I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on my card, and then I'm going to mark 1/2 inch across on my folds like that, so that I can make both of the dots reach each other and stick them down. And I'm just going to be using some Tombow to do that. Now what you want to do is that pointy bit at the end, the tail, you want to make sure they both meet each other there. So you don't want to have it sticking out at the end. You want to come still to a very, very crisp bottom. Okay, so it all comes in together. You're going to do some trimming in a minute and trim that off so it still stays as a total triangle. And then again with the 1/2 inches, you're going to be attaching the next one on both sides, gluing it down, and again chopping the bottoms off so it stays in a triangle. It's a really cute project, this. I just really loved it. It was very Art Deco, very beautiful. And you can see I've done the DSP ones on the bottom and the glimmer ones on the top. So actually you don't need that extra line of DSP that I was messing with. You can just leave it like this. And then once you've done that, you're going to be wanting to bring the card base back in. So that's the folded bit. Take off the pegs and stick that down. Now you can see it did make a little bit of a indent there for me, but I didn't worry about it too much. Marked the middle and stuck that down over the middle section. Now what I did here, which is partly incorrect, but actually I think has worked out better, is I've stuck this the wrong way around. As you can see that my up line just there is facing up and not facing down, so it doesn't slant, and I did try to pull it off, but actually as I got to see the card for longer and have it stood up for longer, I think that was the right way to have it, because it allowed to have a little bit of sturdiness on the card. It didn't fall over, it didn't keep trying to spread, it was actually worked out to be the best thing I'd done. even though at the time I thought it was a mistake. So I'm just first marking my sentiment on, so I'm going to be popping birthday onto this, and I'm going to do it straight onto the crumb cake. And I'm going to be heat embossing it in gold so that it matches all the matte layers and everything else. I love this birthday, isn't it gorgeous? It's proper block, it's beautiful, really nice. And then I'm going to be heat embossing that, trimming it really tight and putting it onto the card. So I was a bit disappointed when I finished the card, purely because I did think it was lovely. I was very happy with it, but I wasn't 100% sure whether it was a 10-year-old's birthday card. I struggle with guys, I struggle with children's cards. I think I need to get more practice on them. But actually, when Freddie opened it, apparently he really liked it. So maybe I did it right. So I'm just trimming this off really, really close. And then I'm going to add some foam on the back and stick it onto the front of the card like that. And I'm going to be adding our main full foam. So this is great, this 3D foam. Makes it so easy and everything pops up, and if you pop it in the mail, it stays totally flat. And there is the card. What do you guys think? I loved it. I loved it when I saw that Sam had done it. I loved it now we've done it. Finally, just to finish, I'm going to cut myself another triangle. So this is in the same size as the gold mat that's on the front of the card. I'm going to be picking the middle bit up and trimming it down again. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can stick it onto the back, and it creates the bit where I'm going to put my sentiment. So then I can write my sentiment on there, and it's a proper card. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below if you've enjoyed it. Do check out what everybody else has done. You can see there it still fits into my envelope. And join me again. If you're first time to my channel, please do like and subscribe and come back and watch my other videos. You can purchase everything I've used today from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thanks everybody, have a lovely day. Bye.